welcome to 1923 Main Street.
Home of the Daddy-Daughter Disney Travel Podcast. We are your hosts.
I am Mike Belobradic.
And I'm Amelia Belobradic. And today we are going to be exploring the controversy between Disney-themed rides and non-Disney themed rides.
Is it a controversy?
Yes.
Is it a controversy I created?
Yes.
Okay. There is some truth to that, but I'm really curious to hear what listeners think this week, because this is something that bugs me. And I want to know if it bugs other people. And I don't know why it bugs me. But
I can't even say it bugs me.
I've kept Amelia a little bit in the dark because I wanted to get her opinion on some of these things that bug me. And it is about Disney-themed rides versus non-Disney-themed rides. Is too much Disney theming bad?
You mean at a Disney park?
Yes. Or is it a good thing? And here's what I'm getting at. Over the past little while, there has been a trend among Disney Imagineers and the powers that be who seem to be on some sort of relentless pursuit to tie everything in the parks to some Disney movie characters, etc., etc. And I'll give you a couple of examples.
They need an Avengers land in Disney
World. And let me
World.
know what you think of these things. For example, here's what I mean. Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, California Adventure. No, it must have a Disney character theme. Let's make it Gardens of the Guardians. Gardens. That would have been better.
Okay.
Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. Did we need to do that?
Well, let me ask you this. And you have evidence that says otherwise. Don't you prefer Mission Breakout?
All right. If that were one isolated example.
You prefer Mission Breakout, don't you?
I do.
Therefore?
But if that were one example only, then it would be fine. But what about Space Mountain? Do they all have to be Hyperspace Mountain Star Wars now, as they've done in Disneyland Paris?
Well,
why do we have to change everything
do you prefer the one in Disneyland Paris?
Yes, but the rides were the same before. All right, here's another one.
Okay.
And I quite liked California Screamin'. Did we have to change it to be calling it the Incredicoaster and put a bunch of Disney characters into it?
Once again, you said that now it was better because now it has a story.
Must we change everything that is not related to a Disney character and find a way to put a Disney character on it? What do you think of this?
Well, see, all of these examples you've said on this very show that you prefer them to the other ones. So I don't know what you're complaining about.
Did these rides in and of themselves not have enough Disney? Weren't they Disney enough that they're thinking, no, we've got to put characters on them. Every single thing we have must now be character.
I think sometimes they just needed a fix-up, and rather than just try to change it until it wasn't really the original anyway, why not just change it completely? Kind of like the Ship of Theseus.
Okay, whatever that means. I'm sure some other grade 7 students may get that. Okay, let me throw some things at you that might make you care more.
Okay.
Rock and Roller Coaster.
Yes.
That's going to be coming up for some sort of change.
Change it into what?
Well, that's the question. How much do you want to bet it's going to be the Zootopia rock and roll? You know what I mean? Do we have to do this?
I know what you mean. And I think that's the key point, is what you're saying is how they do it. Because Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, Guardians of the Galaxy Volumes 1 and 2, and they're making a Volume 3, those are like a PG-13 movies. They're action. They're adventure movies. Whereas if they changed it to Zootopia Jailbreak, that's a G cartoon.
But isn't, because it's still there.
Yeah.
Isn't Rock and Roller Coaster, it's Disney. We already know it's Disney. Do we have to put a Disney character in it?
Not necessarily, but I think it depends which character they're doing. Because I'm saying, because Guardians of the Galaxy, it's a high energy movie, which is why it works so well with the theme of Tower of Terror, which is drop and up and drop. And then Rock and Roller Coaster, that ride is about like a rock band and going fast and going through the night. So if they change it
Camp Rock and Roller Coaster? Camp Rock and Roller Coaster, folks. Watch for it coming. So I get when they're building new stuff. Okay, so we've got the Guardians, the new coaster, and the new Tron coaster. Fine, those are new. They're going to brand them Disney. But do we have to go back to all the things that, in fact, are Disney? Because that's what we all think of them as, right? Disney attractions.
Yeah.
Do we have to shove it in our faces so much that it's got to have a Disney branding on it?
No, and personally, I do. I prefer California Screamin'. It's the same ride. I prefer California Screamin'. I really like the new Incredicoaster. I think that is Incredicoaster is my favorite ride.
So
ever.
let me ask you this: when they rebrand a Rock and Roller Coaster, because they will, the contract with Aerosmith is up. It's going to change. It's just a matter of time. Do you think it will go Disney brand?
Not that I want it to, but I think it will.
All right, let me throw another one at you. Test Track.
What's wrong with Test Track?
Exactly. That's my point. But when they built the Disney California Adventure version based on the same technology, and I hate to say it, a better ride, it became Radiator Springs Racers.
And now,
right?
guess what? It's a better ride.
So,
because now you race cars, and it's much more fun.
Again, it was from scratch, so I don't have an issue with those. But what if they take away Test Track and rename it, I don't know, Cars Garage Track or something? I don't know. Because Lightning McQueen.
But they'd have to rework the entire ride.
Well, they can find a way to Imagineer the basic setup and rebrand it. They're pretty good at that. But my point is, we know Test Track. Test Track is classic Disney. Why do we have to change it? I'm just worried. That's one. Here's another one. Expedition Everest.
Why are they changing that?
I'm concerned that they will. Do you think they will? Now, they made it's part of Asia, but
I don't understand why they would change it, though. I can see some of these rides, like, they needed to be changed. Like Aerosmith, their contract is up, so they need to rework that. So I can understand if they're reworking it or if they're building it from scratch to make something Disney.
Well, there was no need to change Tower of Terror
and
in California
my question.
Adventure and Incredicoaster.
Exactly. So why then are they changing these rides that don't need to be changed?
That's the whole point of the episode.
No,
Welcome to the show, Amelia.
But the thing is, I'm less concerned with the rides that need to be changed, what they're changing those to, versus the rides that don't need to be changed, why they're changing those.
And that's my whole thing. Is there someone sitting in there going, and they've got a big list like I just made. I didn't do every single one, just a bunch of ones that I think would be targets because they're popular. Someone's going, oh, hey, look, we don't have Disney smacked all over these things. We've got to put some characters in every single ride. Now, and it bothers me because these rides are Disney to me. I don't have to have, it doesn't have to be Disney characters in your face at every single turn, right? There can be a mix like there is now, and pretty much everything new they're building is Disney, just like Slinky Dog Dash and all that stuff.
Okay.
That's fine. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay, but let's say now you're a 5-year-old and you go and your first experience in California is the Guardians coaster. And then in 10 years, when you're 15, now they change it back to some non-Disney thing. And now you're upset because it's Disney. And why are they taking away Disney?
Well, you raise a good point.
I think it's your nostalgia that's bugging you.
No, here's my response. And I'm fine with this. The kid rides have pretty much always been Disney character related.
Well, that does make sense.
Except for things like Small World, which thank goodness they haven't changed because it came from the World's Fair. I mean,
is that on your Target now?
Is it on their Target? It better not be, because that's as classic Disney as you can get. That was Walt Disney himself for the World's Fair in 65 or 55, whenever it was, in New York. He created that. So that is authentic Disney. Do we have to make it somehow a Disney brand with a trademark registered on it, and put some Disney faces in? I like what they do now, putting characters in it. I just hope they don't rename it or redo it. Soarin', another one. Is Soarin' going to be like when you were a kid? Mary Poppins, umbrella ride or something.
What's wrong with
Amelia on
That
Soarin'
would
when
be
she was a kid.
so awesome.
When she was
They
5.
need to do that.
She used to sit in the chair with her hand up in the air as if she were holding an invisible umbrella.
Well,
and
they would
pretend-
never let you bring in a giant umbrella.
She would pretend she was Mary Poppins floating around.
They
but
need
is,
to do that.
But is Soarin' at risk?
They could they could do it on Cherry Tree Lane. I need that.
Even simple things like Astro Orbiter. Is that going to be somehow...
Okay, I think you're taking this a bit too far.
Stitch's Astro Orbiter. But I'm not. I feel like
I think we're going a bit far.
Every time they change something, they are Disneyfying it with a brand. They feel the need to change everything. That's why I say
your 3 examples.
Yeah, but this is what I'm worried about. Are they going to continue to do this? And we're going to have to wait and see. What about
that's your prediction. Do you think they will continue to do it?
I'm worried they will. Yes.
Why?
And there's even another angle. And I think this angle is a better angle for what they've started to do. There's another trend of how they're making non-themed, which tend to be the classic Disney rides. This is what I feel like. I feel like we're losing classic Disney.
And I think that's the problem.
Yes,
or at least that's your problem.
Disney, in many ways, to me, same with the god-awful Skyliner. I know many of you listeners love it. I can't stand it. Disney is losing its heart.
Is this Mr. Toad's Railroad, the rant?
I'm going to try to not rant, but overall, and I was trying to give other examples, how Disney is losing its true heart from the Walt Disney area. This is my fear. And they're just on a real sort of branding spree and giving up what gave Disney its very heart. So here's some of the other things they've done, which is another way they're doing this, but is at least a better way.
Make new rides?
Making sort of movies about the ride. So Haunted Mansion was one of the first ones. Thank goodness they didn't change it, but they made a Haunted Mansion movie, which somehow ties the ride more to Disney properties. Jungle Cruise. The movie's out anytime now, right? It's coming out whenever this year.
It should be. That's a good movie. I'm looking
But
forward
see what
to that.
I mean, what they did. At least they didn't change the ride, but they made a movie about the ride, which is now linking their commercial properties closer to existing rides.
Okay.
I think this is a better way to do it.
So you don't have a problem with that.
Because at least they're not changing the ride. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad is another one. I don't know what happened. In 2012, they were talking about a TV series based on Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, and it was supposed to be in the works. I haven't heard about that since then, but that's another one. TV tie-in. And even Tomorrowland. Remember the movie?
Yeah.
Tied into Tomorrowland. This way, at least, they're not changing the millions of people who grew up with Disney and already see those rides as Disney. Here's what I'm saying. We already see those rides as Disney. I don't have to have you slap a character's face on it to associate it with Disney.
Okay, but see, you contradict yourself. Because now you're saying, Tomorrowland, I like Tomorrowland. Let's keep it stable. But in past episodes, you're like, now it's Yesterdayland. And it's in desperate need of a remake.
No, that's just the Raceway, which is another one.
Which is an excellent ride.
I'm shocked they haven't made that Cars, actually. But maybe they're getting rid of it. And I can't believe they didn't get rid of it when they're putting in Tron. Like, they should have just taken the opportunity to ditch the whole thing.
I believe they kept it.
And Matterhorn Bobsleds is another one that there's supposed to be a TV or film-related version coming out. See, these are not Disney-themed.
Okay.
So I'm concerned that this trend I've seen, and 3 things does make a trend in my books.
My rule is 3 years, it's a tradition. 3 things is a trend.
Right. So there's a trend of when they're revamping, updating, or whatever, they're changing the rides to be related to some sort of existing Disney characters.
So what are some of the rides that you think they're going to change, and what do you think they're changing them to?
Well, the immediate one is Rock and Roller Coaster. That's my... here's what we're going to see.
You can't count that because they need to change that.
Well, that's what I mean. They need to change it. Are they going to change it, keep it Rock and Roller Coaster and change the band? Or
that would be good.
Or are they going to make it, I don't know, what's a Disney film or something with rockin' in it, right? That would suit a roller coaster. You know what I mean? Maybe they make it a villain's coaster.
And so you want a villain's coaster, but now you don't want a villain's coaster.
No, I want a villain's coaster, but I want a new one. I don't like them taking the heart away, right? The more you strip out the classic pieces that everybody, these are the things we went to Disney for, right? I'm just saying Disney Imagineers, the current crop of them, seem to believe, and maybe they're too young. Maybe they don't even know Disney history the way we do. I've had, well, not
you. Think
you,
there are
but me.
10-year-old Imagineers?
I have had cast members who are young, 20 years, 30 years younger, saying, wow, you know so much more than I do, and I work here.
Are these desk clerks or Imagineers?
No. Well, they're not Imagineers. But my point is that if you don't have that personal history and you're just sort of being driven by branding everything Disney, you don't realize that those things are Disney. They don't have to have a Disney character or a Disney movie tie-in or anything like that to make them Disney. To Disney fans who grew up on them, they are Disney.
Yeah. And I don't know if you can count Splash Mountain as this because they are changing it to the Bayou, but I guess technically it was a Disney movie.
It was tied in already. And see, that was a subtle
no
one.
one knows that.
Yeah, that's a bit of irony, right?
No one knows.
Not many people. I mean, that sort of came out in this. A lot of people did not realize that actually already was a Disney tie-in. So, do we have to change everything?
But see, what were the three things that they changed again?
Tower of Terror
and then
to Mission Breakout.
Yeah, and then
Space Mountain to Star Wars Hyperspace Mountain.
Okay.
And California Screamin' to the Incredicoaster.
So have any of these things been changed in Disney World?
No.
The answer is no.
Not yet.
So why are you so concerned?
What if I am concerned. I don't want them to change, right? I don't want them.
But Disney World hasn't.
And I'm not a big anti-change person, ironically.
Well.
No, I'm not. Like when they take certain things away, when they change. Here's one. I just thought of another one. Maelstrom had to become Frozen. There's another one. There's 4.
Okay, that was a concrete example.
Okay.
Okay.
Disney World, right there.
Thank you. I was going to say, but I don't think Maelstrom is one of those classic. You think of Disney and you think Maelstrom.
Well, see, here's one. I didn't really care about that, but I didn't like that. It's another perfect example. We're changing the ride. Okay, what Disney? Someone's job is looking at the Disney catalog and figuring which characters we can slap on every single new ride. So I just don't think that every single new ride needs to have or every single old ride, needs to be changed to have a Disney character on it. They are themselves, by their very nature, being created so many years ago for Disney. That's Disney.
And I agree with that. And I want you to be impartial here, just out of curiosity. Of the 4 examples you gave, do you prefer Maelstrom versus Frozen Ever After?
Well, that's one.
You don't like either.
I didn't love either. And that one, honestly, the rides themselves don't really change. So that one, while you're making me admit that I like what they've done, but they could have done those things without having to do it with a Disney brand.
Although I hold it against, because I liked California Screamin' better than Incredicoaster, and I did, and I love Incredicoaster.
I really miss the California Screamin' music.
I know. It's fantastic, but what I'm saying is Maelstrom made sense. No one really liked Maelstrom. It wasn't a very popular attraction.
A lot of people liked it, which always boggled my mind.
It's not one of those 3-hour wait attractions.
No.
Right? But then it's in the Norway Pavilion, and now they're releasing Frozen movies. And so many little girls and little boys love Frozen. And so doesn't it make sense for them to make a Frozen ride versus a ride that no one really cares about?
So I guess here's what I would say to try to be reasonable.
Okay.
I get why they do some of them. I get the idea behind it. That one makes sense. But there's some of the other ones are iconic, like Soarin' or Test Track. If we see those drop, or Rock and Roller Coaster. There's what happened to the one in Disneyland Paris? I'm not sure what they did with that, because that was already starting a rebrand. Or Expedition Everest, or Test Track, or anything that's classic Disney to us.
Yeah. I know what you mean. And I don't know why they changed California Screamin'. That's still a mystery to me. But the thing is, maybe there is a reason and we just don't know it.
But does it bother you?
Yes.
Or do you not care?
It bothers me. No, it bothers me. I want California Screamin' back.
Because I like to go in the parks and go, Space Mountain, there's no Disney branding all over it. It is by itself. Space Mountain is the Disney brand.
The Great Movie Ride, Minnie and Mickey's Runaway Railroad.
There's another one, number 5.
Okay. But
Right?
once again, who loved the Great Movie Ride?
Oh, there's you're going to find
I know.
a horde of fans behind every
Of
ride.
course, there
I'm in
is,
some of them,
obviously.
right? And they get very upset.
But in a Disney Imagineer's point of view, versus Mickey and Minnie, everyone loves them. This ride that has a 20-minute wait, slap Mickey and Minnie on it. Let's make it more popular.
And so far, to your point, at Disney World at least,
they haven't changed classics.
They haven't changed A-listers yet. Maelstrom and Great Movie Ride are, if we were in the old tickets, right, they would have been B or C tickets, maybe a D. Definitely not E-ticket rides. These are not top-tier rides. Nobody's running to those rides when the park opens. But the risk is, will Space Mountain in Tomorrowland become Star Wars Hyperspace Mountain?
I don't think so.
At Disney World. I hope not. Right?
I don't think they would do that, because then that conflicts right there with Galaxy's Edge. Because then why is it not in Galaxy's Edge?
Well, they have different
why
things
is it
in
over
different
there?
parks, right? They have different things in different parks.
I think they could make a new hyperspace thing in Galaxy's Edge and just leave Space Mountain where it is. I think that's something they could do. And because I think Disney World needs more rides that go upside down, and Disneyland too. They need more of that.
Well, that's why we need the 5th park, which we talked about. The 5th gate, as they say.
And I'm saying I resent them changing California Screamin'. And for Tower of Terror, I prefer Guardians. It's a better ride.
Well, I prefer the theming. So if I can separate the two, I prefer the spooky Twilight Zone Tower of Terror ambiance to the hotel, as opposed to changing it in. I don't even know what it's supposed to be in Guardians of the Galaxy. It's just a building. What is it? I don't know. A spaceship? No, but what is the actual building supposed to be?
The prison.
Okay. Oh, the prison. Right. See, I don't know.
Have you not watched the movie?
I can't remember.
Watch the movie.
Amelia watches everyone 35 times. And
that's not. No, I haven't watched Guardians of the Galaxy since.
I'm a one-off
years.
movie person. I just watch them once, maybe,
I've only
at a
watched
time.
that once.
Maybe in 10 years I'll watch it again. But anyway, I'm just concerned about. I don't begrudge new rides changing. I just don't.
So you wouldn't begrudge Avengers Land now? That's coming.
No, it's a new thing, and that's fine. Add Avengers, but
Please
that's a good one.
Avengers.
Do we have to make it Iron Man coaster, rock and roller coaster, or something like that, right?
That would not be good.
Yeah, or the new Avengers Land campus. Has Spider-Man, a Spider-Man attraction in it in California Adventure when it reopens. So I don't know. That was my theme for this: is too much Disney branding. Can you go too far? And
yes.
To me, you can. I
think they're teetering on that edge.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm not sure that I like it, but it's also not too far. I think if they change like Everest and Test Track and some of those classics, why?
Yeah, so let us know. I really, really want to get some feedback on this. So hopefully you guys listening will, when we're tweeting out or on social media on Instagram this week, let us know. Maybe I'll do a poll. I'm pro. I want more Disney. I want to see every single ride with a Disney character stamp on it. Or no, I find, like me, the old Disney rides are Disney. Not everything has to be in your face branded. They're Disney from their heart and soul, because that's what Disney created originally.
My main issue is...
Or are you in the middle? I don't care, whatever. My
main issue is, for me, I think that my issue personally is that they're making like hardcore rides like Rock and Roller Coaster, and I'm not sure if they're doing this, but like California Screamin', that's a fast roller coaster. It goes upside down, and now it's The Incredibles, a G-rated cartoon.
Yeah. I just don't think that...
And yes, I know The Incredibles are superheroes. I've seen the movies. I'm just saying, if they make it like, as you said, a Zootopia coaster, I'm going to lose my mind.
You know what? For me, the Disney magic...
It comes from nostalgia.
Yeah, exactly. It comes from Walt Disney originally. And, there's been great progress through the years. It's all been fantastic. It's like the hotels. Thank goodness not every hotel is... Oh, my gosh. What if they start doing that?
Oh, my gosh.
Could you imagine?
If they made, like, the Grand Floridian, like, grand...
Cinderella's Palace. I don't know. I mean, the castle, making it
They haven't
effectively
done that
Aurora's
yet.
castle. All those sorts of things is what I talk about when I'm saying the Imagineers have just lost sight of the original magic. Progress is great. I love the stuff. Like I said, I like the
You
new
need to
rides.
be an Imagineer.
I link all the new rides. Cool. I get it. They're Disney branded, Toy Story Land, all that sort of stuff's great. But it doesn't mean we have to go back through history for anything
Erase it.
for anything that wasn't offensive, or some things should be changed,
Yeah.
but just things that are
I'm
themselves,
saying no change.
like Space Mountain or Expedition Everest or Test Track. Those are Disney.
We're just saying don't make unnecessary changes, right?
What I certainly think is unnecessary. In fact, I don't want to turn everywhere I look and see everything with Disney, Disney character this, Disney character that. Is anything just, a ride in Disney World that in and of itself is Disney World?
Because certain things need to be changed, but then there's unnecessary things that they are changing that they don't need to change.
And I get the new stuff they're branding. They're probably never going to make any attraction now going forward that is not related to some Disney property.
And I understand that. I get that.
Yeah, I get that as well.
Don't go back and rewrite history.
Because that history is Disney, is what
Yeah.
I'm saying. So Imagineers, please understand that Test Track, Expedition Everest, they are Disney. You don't have to put a trademark registered branded character on it to make it Disney. To your guests, it is Disney.
Yeah.
That's what's been drawing us there all these years.
And my question is, what do you least want to see changed? What would you hate the most if they branded it Disney?
Oh, I don't know. Any of them, really. I can't really single one. Well, if they changed the Haunted Mansion.
I was going to say, I
yeah.
thought you'd say haunted.
I would lose. So if anything, do it that way. The way I like it
I'm
is.
going Everest. They should make an expedition movie.
Well, see, yeah, they could. See,
They
that's
make people climbing Everest.
so that's the reverse, which I think is preferable. They're taking those properties and they're making them Disney branded and creating a movie based on them, not going the other way where they take the movie and slap it into the ride.
Exactly.
So this way you're building on the history and the magic by making movies or TV shows about the rides.
But
that
that's
I think
good,
is awesome. No, I
Because
agree.
that gives it a backstory.
Excellent.
Because
yeah.
it adds more to what's already there versus changing it.
So Disney, you've got Disney Plus now. Please do it that way. If you have to,
they need to make rides based on the new Marvel shows.
if you feel like you want a WandaVision ride.
Yes, I do.
That's what you're getting at.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Well,
They could go through they have so much potential.
maybe
with
that'll
going
be
through
in
the decades.
maybe that'll be in the fifth park.
They have so much potential, and they need to do that.
Anyway, that was my thoughtful rant. Different episode. I'm curious to see if people are even noticing this the way
They
I
have
do. And
Agatha's takeover.
does it make you sad when these things change to be character branded as opposed to the brand that they were all of their own, created by Disney in the first place? Therefore, they are Disney brands, just not the same way as a character's face.
I'm now just planning 10 more rides.
Anyway, we'll leave that one with you, and I'm curious to see how you all think this week as we post this stuff out on social media at 1923 Main Street. So follow along with us.
Because they have enough room to make new rides. They don't need to change the past. And I think
Yes.
that is the main message.
Unless, well, some of the past they should update.
Yeah.
And even updating them is fine, but just don't take this heart away of
Yeah.
what we know.
I think that is the main message of this.
Don't change the Walt Disney World Railroad into the Zootopia train or something, things like that. It doesn't all have to have. I mean, that would be killer because that is the very core of Walt itself, the Walt Disney World
Now
Railroad.
we're just
and the
really hating on
Disneyland Railroad.
Zootopia.
Yeah, I know. I keep picking on
Hating
that
on
one
Zootopia.
because they haven't really done anything with that yet. So it's coming. As soon as Zootopia 2 comes out. Was there one yet? No, I've lost tracks.
No.
All right. Anyway, that's it for this week, everyone. We hope you enjoyed this episode and let us know what you think. I want to look forward to hearing other people. Maybe I'm the only one. Maybe I'm the only one who cares about these old things and doesn't want to see them lost.
No, I care.
Okay, and you're only 12, almost 13, so that's good. All right, thanks for listening, everyone. We are so happy you join us each and every week. We hope you have a great week and a magical day.
Bye-bye.